Stephanie's here. I'm sorry.
Sure am.
Could you help me with your name, please?
Kane Burback.
Thank you. And for the record, Commissioner Blease is absent, so Commissioner Wise will be the chair of the meeting this evening.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so we will now adopt the agenda for tonight. Does anyone have any comments?
Wouldn't it be approval of the minutes from the last meeting first?
I think
No.
that's
No, okay.
after this,
Sorry.
yeah. That's okay. So I'd take a motion to adopt the agenda for tonight.
I'll make a motion to adopt it.
I'll second.
Okay, first from Commissioner Rathie, second from Commissioner Alvarez.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, or all against, say no. Nay? Okay, passes. Thank you. Okay, now the approval of the minutes from the October 2nd Planning Commission meeting. Did anybody have any comments that you saw from the minutes?
Nope.
Looked good to me. All right, if nobody has any comments, then I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from October 2nd.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, first from Commissioner Gadboy,
I'll second.
second from Commissioner Muick. And that will pass as well.
No, you need a vote.
Oh, sorry. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against say nay. No nays. It approves.
No, nay, never.
All right, now we have the meeting open to the public. This is for anything that is not on the agenda tonight. There's no one in attendance here. So I will open the public meeting at 7:32. And I will close it at 7:32.
7:33.
It's 7:33 now.
Eastern time. Oh, I'm sorry. Six. Yes, I apologize. Yes, 6.
6.
I'm reading the clock. Yes. 6:32. Thank you. All right. So we have a few public hearings tonight, or I guess one public hearing tonight on the zoning code text amendments. Ken, could you give us a staff report, please?
I would be happy to. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this is a follow-up from our meeting on October 2nd, where we previewed, I would say, these proposed zoning ordinance text amendments. There's proposed changes to the residential definitions, and then some proposed changes for our mixed-use districts. The actual ordinance I've put up on the screen, it's also included in your packet. As far as the definitions for the residential dwellings, we worked through, again, all these at the last meeting. The one change was, where did it go?
What page are you on?
Well, I'm on page 7, but I'm also looking at the ordinance, which is, there was a, right in here, we had in my draft from the previous meeting, we had other chapters of the state building code, and you'll see in my cover memo, took that out based on comments from the commission, and that's reflected, this is the actual ordinance for your consideration. That was the only change on those from the last meeting. All the other terms and words are all the same, so I don't think that needs a lot of discussion. And then the second part of the text amendments that we talked about were clarifying and adding some terms and words into the definitions, purposes, and goals for the mixed-use districts. That starts on page 8 of the packet in your report, or in the packet, in the staff report. For example, here I'm proposing to change corridor to mixed use and call this corridor mixed use instead of corridor highway, which are reflective of our current zoning map terms. These are leftover old terms. But more importantly, getting down into the purpose and goals of the mixed-use districts, we're proposing adding in D, for example, allow or encourage development and redevelopment that will maintain a sense of the city's heritage. There is a proposed change for the MU2 district, which I'll get to in a minute. And then in the mixed use, corridor mixed use, the MU3, the proposed change adds D here that's on the screen, provide more flexibility in the redevelopment of existing commercial centers and the development of vacant sites. And again, as a way of review and background, these are terms and terminology found in the comprehensive plan, and so we thought it was important to make sure that these goals and purposes are consistent with the comprehensive plan, make that abundantly clear. And then for the MU2 district, I talked about, should we allow multiple family residential developments in that zoning district? Currently, they're not allowed, this is the table of uses. And I was proposing that they could be allowed potentially by PUD, so PUD is now added in here as a residential land use for multiple family in the MU2, and then adding in number 5 here that PUD means the use requires city approval of a PUD in the district where designated in compliance with the applicable standards. So it's not a permitted use, it's not a conditional use, it's a kind of a maybe use, for lack of a better term, but so it opens up potentially more zoned property in the MU2 to have multiple family developments subject to getting approved by the PUD. So that is the overview of the changes. Oh, I just caught one more. On page 10 of the packet, for item D here, the original proposal had, after redevelopment, I had originally proposed or intensification, and commission asked to take that out, which no longer shows up there. So again, the ordinance reflects those changes. That is my report. So in summary, I made all the changes requested by the commission. We're recommending approval as staff, and now I'll take questions, otherwise you can open up the public hearing.
Excellent. Does anyone on the commission have any questions about anything that Ken just said?
Not about what Ken said, but I do have a question about the zoning. And this is something, Ken, that I just came from a meeting at the university about freight uses in the metro area. And one thing that was brought up there was that cities are not zoning commercial buildings with a freight pickup drop-off area. And that was something that they were recommending that cities should add to their zoning ordinances so that, building, homes of 1 and 2 people are fine, but when you start getting like 6, 8, 10, 20 units, because of the amount of deliveries that are going on these days between FedEx, UPS, and all of the food delivery services and the grocery delivery services, that there is a parking problem occurring at a lot of larger properties. And that was just something I wanted to bring up and see, is this something that we might want to put in our zoning code for the future? And if so, is this the time to do it, or do we add it in later?
Yes, and later.
Okay,
So essentially loading zones,
right,
5-minute, 10-minute.
yeah,
And they are common usually for commercial buildings, industrial buildings, you have loading docks. But on the larger multifamily, I could see where it could be challenging.
so that was the only question I had.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon, Uber, I mean, it's
Right.
not just FedEx anymore, it's
Right.
everything
Yeah.
is getting.
Well, and aren't the buildings now incorporating places for packages to be
A
kept
lot of times they are.
Yeah.
in the lobby or in an office or somehow, but
Yep.
that's their thing. Anyway, yes, we can look at adding loading docks or loading zones, I should say,
Okay, thank you.
as we work through the changes.
Yeah, that's a good comment. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing at 6:41. There's no one in attendance, so I will close the public hearing at 6:41. Okay, we've had the commissioners' questions.
Doing a great job with that gavel, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
prove that.
I feel like that's the thing I'm doing the best right now. Okay. So let's see. If nobody has any other questions, then I will ask for a motion to approve what we just talked about.
I'll make a motion.
And to be clear, it's on the bottom, page 10 of this packet. It's making a recommendation to the city council to approve the ordinances as presented.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant to say.
I'll second.
I knew that.
So thank you. Commissioner Rathie is the first, Commissioner Alvarez is the second, and this is the motion to recommend to the, that the city the planning commission has reviewed this, and we are supportive of the proposed ordinance. Everyone that is in agreement, say aye.
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 And we have no nays, so it passes.
Just having fun with that.
Just to give you a-
Thank you all. Did you see what you needed, Jason?
Yeah, and I sent you an email. For some reason, I'm viewing this through Chrome,
Yeah.
and it's coming across not the way you want it to come across, so it's just a technical thing,
Okay.
nothing of substance.
Is it, the page numbers are off, is that?
No, where it said dwelling attached and stuff like that, because I'm viewing it through Chrome, it's this weird.
Yeah, I found when he can show it, when I originally,
Oh, yeah, weird.
well, and how that happened is when I made the PDF of the Word document, it went wonky for some reason. So I went back in just this afternoon after I saw that, retyped some of those punctuation points, and then resaved it, and then it was fine. I think it may have been because I copied and pasted from another document to create the Word document, and so,
Yeah, I just knew if
Yep.
someone was actually following along from home, it looks confusing.
Yes.
You have to
would,
wrestle
yes.
AI into submission.
Sometimes Word likes to,
well, it's the punctuation was wonky, but yes, thank you.
Okay.
Got it.
All right, moving on to our next topic, which is the capital improvement plan review. Ken, could you give us a rundown of that?
I will, thank you.
Bless you.
So, to start off, Minnesota statute require all planning commissions actually to review proposed capital improvement plans in their respective jurisdictions. And what the planning commission is to look for are the proposed improvements consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan for that jurisdiction. So the capital improvement plan, I've included, there's a summary table in the staff report, but it's, I don't know, more than 100 pages, I think, the whole document. And so one might ask, what is a capital improvement plan? Well, I'll tell you. The capital improvement plan is a long-range planning document that the city uses, and most jurisdictions use, to project out, plan out when they will need and/or make major capital purchases for the city, whether it's park improvements, fire engines, snow plows, major building improvements, say, for this building or any of the buildings. And each jurisdiction can define what is a capital improvement with different dollar amounts. Here in North St. Paul, one of the cutoffs, if you will, one of the criteria is that it be at least $125,000 expense. Some cities I've worked at use 50, some use 100. That's not dictated by state law. But so they are major purchases or expenses that the city will have, and I should say purchases. So ongoing maintenance projects, painting, things that might need to be done, repairs are not capital improvements. They are, again, the big purchases and expenses that should last 10, 20, 30 years or more. But they are supposed to, what is in the plan should be reflective of what are the goals and policies in the comprehensive plan, again, as required by state law. So the CIP document is a document that the city updates every year with the input from city staff, all the departments. Sometimes I know the Parks Commission's been very involved with what they would like to see, how park funds and park improvement projects would be programmed out for the next few years. And there's, again, a summary table in the staff report. So I'm clearly not going to go through the whole CIP, but it helps forecast, again, the spending needs the city will have if we stay on track. And so it can help with budgeting then for the city. Okay, for example, if we say, and this is on page 2 of the staff report, the city had a Wold Architects and Engineers a facility assessment study a few years ago, and they projected for all the city buildings and facilities, the city should spend around $17 million over the next 10 years to maintain and make the improvements. That study also showed that the community center would need $6.8 million in improvements, repairs, et cetera, maintenance or rehabilitation, if the city is going to continue to keep the community center. And that hasn't been fully decided yet what the outcome of that is going to be. So I don't want to promise that that's going to be spent or not spent. Those are two big examples. And so then from having those numbers, and then again, what, say, the engineers have laid out for water system improvements or a water tower, or the street reconstruction projects that the city is doing every other year, again, lay out what years, what budgets, how the dollar amounts was best to estimate, and come up with this plan. So staff working with with the Planning Commission, or excuse me, the Parks Commission, all the various departments put this plan together. As we see on the screen, it was last updated in August. The Parks Commission wanted to move some things around on their priorities. We, as a staff, believe it is consistent with the goals and policies of the comprehensive plan. So we are recommending that it be adopted. And actually, in this case, there's a resolution in your packet, page 229, that we would, if the commission agrees, recommend that the commission would adopt recommending approval of the capital improvement plan to the city council. And then we, at the second meeting in December with the city council, will give them that update. I can be happy to take questions, but just so you know, this should be done annually by the Planning Commission. CIP gets updated every year, and unless there's something really crazy, we should be fairly consistent and consistent with the comprehensive plan. Some cities will use it, say, if they know that a new freeway interchange is going to happen in a developing city, and they can project out. That may affect land uses and development in that area, so maybe the comprehensive plan hasn't identified that interchange, but the engineers and the, say, MnDOT think it's a great idea, so we try to make sure those are consistent. Again, not really applicable here, other than if Highway 120 and 36 ever gets redone, but that hasn't been programmed yet, so we know it's out there, but it's a long way out. So that's enough talk. I'll answer your questions if you have any.
So, question for you. If I look at, so you want us to review the information that's on here, and if we're looking at numbers, obviously there's association information related to every one of these individual projects. And without knowing the detail of every one of those individual projects, that's not our responsibility, but that's what you're asking us to approve.
Correct. And that's why I included this whole big plan if one really wanted to read through. Because the email plan has everything laid out in pretty spreadsheets.
Yeah, because I'm looking at some of these and I'm like, okay, so, I mean, look at page 225 as an example, which is a 12-inch looping on the Gateway Trail in 2030. I mean, really? I mean, you want me to approve that that's going to be a valid case of $731,000? I can't say that's going to be the case.
And it's not so much the dollar amounts, but just the projects that have been identified. Will they be, again, primarily consistent with the comprehensive plan and I would say, of value or importance to the city?
And so in that same context, so we've got dollars, we've got a project, but there's no viability as to why these are sitting here on a budget list that we're supposed to approve.
Other than, they were vetted through, again, Parks Commission, staff, and to this point. And if you disagree, then.
No, I'm just trying to understand, I'm just trying to understand what the expectation is. Because if I'm going to review a budget and I know that there's a project related to it, what's the viability to say that, hey, we're just not sliding something in there as one of the groups? Because I don't want to say that that's my responsibility to approve it.
Yep.
But I'm also trying to understand has there been reviews on this? What other teams have reviewed this information? Because we're talking we're talking 10 years from now.
Right.
Well, and adding to that, because we don't know what's going to happen with the community center, and that number is really large.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge percentage.
Right.
And so I don't necessarily want to say, yes to it, with the big question mark still
Well,
over the city.
if I can add a little clarity,
Yep,
I would call these placeholders.
okay,
When, say, 2026 comes around and Public Works or the Parks Commission want to do a specific project, it'll have to go through that individual vetting process with designs, cost estimates, and then it would still have to be approved by the city council on an individual basis. Just because it's in here, half of these may never happen, or they may get pushed out another 5 years. So these are just to help the city start planning out the potential
okay.
expenses. And each one will get vetted in more detail on an individual basis.
Okay.
Either staff will certainly vet them, but when they get brought forth, it could be from the Parks Commission, could be staff. City Council may say, hey, there's a project identified in 2028, we want to move it to 2027 or 26.
Yeah.
Or we may not want to do it till 2030.
Because not only are there numbers associated with this, there's also a priority number,
Yes.
which, if it's a priority 3 or 4, it might not even happen, right? I mean, some are priority 5s,
And all these are also contingent on funding.
right?
And if, as I think Dan pointed out, or Dan gave me the number, that to consistently try to keep up with this, the city would have, at a minimum, have to have an 8 to 10% levy increase every year. And the city council may not go for that.
But our scope specifically for us is really just to say, is there anything on this list that we feel is not in alignment with the comp plan, basically,
Correct.
right?
At a
don't think-
real high level.
Right, yeah. The specific numbers in terms of cost, I mean, obviously that's very important, but I think for what we're voting on, it's really just the topics, the things that are on that list, not necessarily
And I know it's a long list.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like replacing a backhoe is on this list? That's on this list. That's really part of the comprehensive plan that you want us to approve?
Well-
I'm just asking the question.
Right.
That's,
One of the
yeah.
things I'd like to point out too, and I believe this is a huge step in the right direction, and I thank Ken for this, is last time when this was approved, I believe it was in January, when the budget was already set and the entire budget for the next year was already set, then it was brought
Yeah.
before
so
the
this is-
commission.
so
So
this
this
is some
actually gives
transparency.
you
Yeah.
a step in the right direction of actually having input where we could affect change for the next year. It still might need to be tweaked a little bit if you feel, more time to review or whatever level you wish to put in, but I still view it as a huge step in the right direction
Yeah.
that you could put in input where there's still time to change it for the budget and versus what I would consider no reasonable chance for change in January of going, yep, everything's planned.
Right.
Here it is, please approve this.
Right. No, no disagreements.
Yep.
I think something like a backhoe, I feel like that's not really our purview to
Right.
say yes or no to that. But the things that are on the list here that Ken, you called out specifically, like what page is this? 16 of the packet, that's where it starts at least. So a lot of the park improvements, sports fields, different sort of street improvements, that to me is more aligned with what our scope is. So I think, these few, it's, whatever, 30 things you pulled out here are a little bit more aligned to what our scope, right?
I would say so, sure, yep.
So, just a quick question too. This is being brought before us because the state requires us, they want every city's planning commission to go over these.
Yes,
Okay.
because it's viewed as an element of the comprehensive plan, or it needs to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. A common one, again, in a developing city would be city's planning for a major road extension across for 3 or 4 miles across a farm field. Then we would look at, has that corridor been identified in the comprehensive plan, in the transportation plan? Is it generally in line with that? Does the timing make sense? Same with the utility extensions. Here, we don't clearly have that, but these are still major expenses. And the ones in the actual staff report, page 16 and 17, were examples we pulled out. Clearly, they're park-centric. But those seemed, and there's some other improvements, but those seemed to be examples that we thought the commission would be most interested in. They're clearly, with hundreds of them in the plan, we're not expecting you to appreciate every one, but it's a fair question, Jim, about what are we doing and why are we doing it?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely very high level. I love all the stuff that's that's called out here. I wish all of it would get done. I don't think I had any specific questions. Is our purview here to? Could we suggest things that we think should be moved up in priority, or is it really just sort of a
No,
general scope of?
I think you could, if there's one or two, or, well, however many, that somebody has a strong opinion up or down in the timeline,
Yeah.
we can certainly pass that information on.
Okay.
When is the timeline that the desire is to have this approved by?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to the council on December 16th,
Okay.
the last council meeting of the year.
So we could hold it for a month.
We could hold it for a month, we could review it and come back and,
We come back to the fourth.
Yep.
Yeah.
that seems to be a viable option, knowing what you're looking for.
Well, hopefully my explanation helped a little bit.
Yeah, it did,
Yeah.
very much so.
I move we table this for the next meeting then?
Yeah, I think that would give us all a little bit more time to, now that we understand the scope, a little bit more time to look
Digest
at
it.
it. Yeah, and would that cause any issue? I mean, I appreciate we got this earlier than we did last time, so it gives us that time to do that, so.
Yeah, and remember, I'm one of 5, but from my viewpoint, if you going saying, I'd like these 3 things pushed out a year and these 4 things increased a year, I can't tell you how proud I am of you guys, of the lens you view things, So a little bit of that insight from the planning commission side would be wonderful as far as I'm concerned is,
Perfect.
you know, let's, I don't know what a good example, you know, but we just redid some Housy Park. Let's push that plan maintenance back a year and
Yeah.
let's move up the Casey Lake one. Things of that nature from this commission would be outstanding.
Yeah, great. I think that's a good.
Mr. Chair, there's a motion on the table, but I didn't hear a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So, yes, the motion is to table this until our December meeting. That was by Member Muick. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Rathie. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, passes. So we will table this until next meeting. We'll have a little more time to look.
I'm wondering, would it be possible for us to get a list of the improvements that were done within the last 2 to 3 years? At least major improvements that we could kind of use that as a way of guiding us,
Yeah.
you know, if there's something that we might want to rearrange.
Yes, and that to be emailed so we can review it before the next meeting?
Yeah.
That'd be, I agree.
I can check with Dan, our finance director.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Next up is,
The only reason I brought the backhoe up is it's in 2026, and I looked at the dollar amount, I'm like, this is near term, I'm like, let's understand the picture here, that's why I raised that, by the way. So,
Yeah.
FYI.
okay, so speaking of the comprehensive plan, we now are going to be looking at a potential 2050 comprehensive plan. So an update to our 2040 plan. Ken, could you give us a rundown of that?
Absolutely. Thank you. So I'm calling this the kickoff of the comprehensive plan update. And for background purposes, I thought it'd be good to start with, why are we doing this? Why are we required to do this? So I included in the staff report some background information from the Met Council and then a little bit from our existing comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan, by state law and by Met Council regulations, each city, each jurisdiction in the seven-county area has to update it every 10 years. And how that starts is the Met Council develops what they call a regional guide plan for the whole seven-county area, and that's what they're calling Imagine 2050. And within that, then, they set some overall goals and policies of how they envision the whole metro area will develop, redevelop, transform over the next 20, 25 years. So their overall vision for that, and I've included a lot of this in the report, is to have a prosperous, equitable, and resilient region with abundant opportunities for all to live, work, play, and thrive. Very aspirational, I guess would be the term. Then on page 231, which is the second page of the report, they included several goals for the region. Again, these are policy goals at the Met Council. By the way, an unelected political body, but that's another tangent for another day.
Well stated.
And their hearts are in the right place. I'll say that for the most part.
Okay.
From that, then, so the Met Council was created in, I think, the 1960s or early 70s by state law to coordinate and organize the planning and problem solving that no one community can do by alone. And so it was created by state statute, and through that they created regional guides initially for sewers and highways, I believe, and then eventually they've gotten into regional parks and trails and other elements. So now they have this great vision, what do we say it is? Imagine 2050, with these overall goals. Then they are required, they and the Met Council, to prepare a system statement for each jurisdiction in, again, the seven-county area, and send those out by September of this year, and they did. And I included the North St. Paul one in your packet. And what that gives is a little snapshot of how each jurisdiction or city are the things that they will need to address as they update their comprehensive plan. And I put the cover on the screen. So what does the system, what is a system statement? It helps guide local planning. It'll identify impacts. And most importantly for the Met Council, it ensures conformity. That is, the local governments must use the system statement when determining their comprehensive plan needs to be amended and how it needs to be amended to stay consistent with the Met Council's regional plans. Again, those regional plans are primarily around highways, land uses, sanitary sewer systems, and parks and trails. So the North St. Paul system statement, we did get it in September, and I did a little review and analysis of it, what it included. Within it, I'll just quick run through it. So this gives some of the background, why we have it, some of the same things I just talked about. The city can dispute what they are projecting for a city if they wish. They have 60 days to do so. Frankly, we don't have any issues, but I'll let you decide. So for example, on the screen, which is, what page?
39 right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
This is an example of what they project for all the cities, jurisdictions. And for 2040, they're projecting a population in North St. Paul of 13,100, and for 2050, 13,000. No big change. Number of households going from 5,300, staying at 5,300. Employment, 3,500, and staying at 3,500. So what that's telling me, there's not expecting a lot of change in North St. Paul, which, since the land is 99% developed, don't really expect any. Again, this would be more relevant in a city like Oakdale or Woodbury where they're growing. The council may say you're going to add 10,000 people, or the city may say, no, we think 12 or 15, or only 6. So then those two they have to hash it out and come to an agreement.
So where's the variation come from between 2020 and 2030? Because there's probably about 400 homes there difference between the two. I'm not so sure that we've got 400 property openings in the city of North St. Paul to add to that, is my inquisition.
I don't know. That's a fair question. I don't,
No, because, I mean, because,
We had the townhouses, we've had the apartments. I'm not sure how many units all of that adds up to.
yeah,
But that's a sizable number of housing units. that
Right.
we've
yeah, Article 7 and the Sentinel
Yeah.
were built after 2020, and so are now open. That'll add to the number of households for 2030.
but those are individual houses. Those are
That's
not
our house.
apartment complexes.
No, but a household is a housing unit.
Each apartment would be a
Oh, so
household.
apartment is considered as a unit in this instance?
It's a household.
Got it.
Individual households, yes.
Okay.
I am kind of curious as to how they expect the number of households to maintain, and yet our population dropped by 100, but maybe they're thinking that we'll have fewer,
Less children?
less
babies,
children
less
per
children.
per person.
Aging population.
It is
happening.
I think that's exactly it.
That's what it is.
And I believe that 5,200 number for households at 2030 comes from an uncontested number that was put forth with the 2030 plan
Okay.
when, in 2020 or whatever, when it was created.
And they do update these based on census data, and they track building permits. So they know, the Met Council knows how many new units have been built.
Do you know how many households we have in North St. Paul today?
I don't. The actual there, in that first column was based on the census, but I haven't looked at it now since
Yeah,
2025.
Again, I'm inquisitive as to where we stand today and what does that picture look like?
Yeah.
mean,
I could
just
find
with
that.
the apartment buildings we've added since then, it's probably close to another 300 probably, right? Or something like that.
I think one building
Yeah, I don't know how
has,
many units are in those.
one has 80 and I think one has 110 or 20.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Article
Those are the
7.
ones downtown?
Yes.
What about the ones on McKnight?
Yeah, all the
Those are
townhouses.
huge.
Well, there's
Yeah.
an apartment building there.
There's
too.
a huge apartment building and the townhomes.
Yeah,
Right.
so we've added quite a few.
Yeah.
When was that, the one on McKnight built? Was that before 20?
I think it was after 2020.
Okay,
It's been pretty recent.
yeah, okay. Time doesn't make any sense anymore.
I agree.
I'm
day
just
is it?
hoping we're going to have a
It's Thursday,
2030
I'm here.
census to base this on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not at all positive that the current government's going to allow a census to go
We have
forward.
added a lot of household
Yes.
units in
Yeah.
the
And-
last
and-
5 years.
And I'm sure we could look at our building permits from the last 3, 4, or 5 years and get some numbers. We know, I'm confident in 2020 because that's census. And then to get from 2020 to 2024, 2025, at least on the unit count and household count, we could get that. Population is guesstimated by a number of residents in a housing unit. Single-family home might have 3 or 4, where an apartment might have 2.
Yeah, I'm more concerned on the number of households, because the number of households are going to dictate what your population is going to be.
And also the school districts.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I would like to suggest that once we've determined what we think it is, that the planning office try to do an annual update on that based on the number of permits or something, however you feel like it would be suitable to keep track. Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly based on building permit information, we could project out how many units have been built.
There
And
isn't a whole lot of space left to,
Yeah.
unless they demolish something else.
Well, where Article 7 was, I don't know that people thought 10 years ago that would get redeveloped, and
Right.
True.
sometimes you just don't know.
According to Ramsey County, we're at 5,001.
Okay.
Okay.
Households? Yes. Oh,
So that fits into that.
we're over 5,000, yay,
Let's have a party.
yeah. So,
I would like to see the employment
Well,
numbers
yeah.
increase.
And our population is 11,000.
I know. Yeah.
That's the number
have
that
2 people
concerns
per
me.
household.
yeah.
Doesn't seem quite,
We need business.
doesn't seem right.
So that's again, one element. I don't have any reason to disagree with any of those numbers. Or more importantly, the 2040 and 2050 numbers.
Right.
Yep.
What's happening in 2025 or 2030, it is what it is. We can't control that, really. But then going through this, one thing that we are also required to look at is the number of affordable housing units. And each jurisdiction has to have what they call their fair share of affordable units. And by 2050, we, as a city, are supposed to add 33 more units.
Okay.
Does the city add those?
Very much.
Well, they need to happen in the city. It's not a city-driven. So we as a city have to try to accommodate those wherever we can, whether it's a new development and it's strictly for low to moderate income folks, or if it's a larger project, do we require 10% of the units to be for low to moderate income, however we get there. I don't know that there's any penalties if we don't meet that number, but that's, again, the Met Council trying to spread out the affordable housing all throughout the region.
Because if the city's not doing that, that means private landlords need to make
Right.
it happen.
Yes.
And I don't know how you make them do that.
As an example, I've seen where cities adopt housing policies or affordable housing policies that say, if you're going to build new, more than 100 units, 5% or 10% of those have to be reserved for
Sure.
low to moderate income. We don't have that policy yet. It might be coming. We'll have to see.
You could
That's-
always add incentives to it, saying that if you do build X number of units and Y or
Yeah.
low-income housing will allow you to develop more densely or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, there's carrots that can be put out to,
There's TIF financing, where you
Right.
tax.
or yeah, more density on the same size property as a bonus, or reducing parking standards or design standards, or there's many ways to incentivize it. What's interesting too is they want cities, and again, cities and counties, to get into climate policy. I don't know how the heck we're going to do this. I haven't given it a deep thought, but they say Met Council will assist communities in addressing climate mitigation and adaptation elements by providing communities with greenhouse gas inventories and technical assistance for identifying appropriate strategies. It's something we'll be looking at as we go forward. I'm just going to leave it at that, because again, I could see it where if you're an area that has transit, or you want to encourage transit to reduce car trips, great, that can help. But that's so driven by the Met Council because they control the bus routes and Metro Transit. So unless, I stay tuned.
I mean, we're part of that association where we have our own windmill, and, I mean, I don't know how, I mean, green means so many different things.
Yes.
If they're specifically talking greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah,
that's one
they're-
thing, but
So there's,
probably different ways.
that's
Well,
something.
the other thing is, right now, the current federal government is strongly discouraging discussion of this, so this is going to be a landmine for the next 3 years. Yeah.
Right.
But I think it's worth talking to the Met Council about. And I strongly suspect, because we have 2 bus routes here that operate daily, we'll be in a much better situation than a lot of the more suburban communities would be.
Right. One thing they include in, again, this is right out of the system statement, is they give a designation to each city or jurisdiction. North St. Paul is considered urban edge, as is Maplewood, but Oakdale, for example, is called suburban. Urban edge is what, the last time around, North St. Paul was urban, just like St. Paul. And now the Met Council has broken that out, so the first ring suburbs are now considered urban edge. When that becomes most important is for the suburban and suburban edge cities. The Met Council has a standard that all new residential development have be built at least 3.5 units per acre. And we're not necessarily bound by that because we're in the urban edge. They like more density, they want more density. And when you're developing soybean fields and cornfields, raw land for development, they don't want the large lots spread out. They are pushing for smaller lots and higher density, again, in the places like Oakdale, Woodbury, and those. We're not subject to that, so I'm not, again, not concerned about that. But that's another example. One thing they are also, so talk about transportation plan. Again, this comes up in if there's going to be highway projects, interchanges, lanes added to a road, then this system statement should identify those. We have none of that. The only thing that they have identified is the intersection at, again, 120 and Highway 36. It's on the radar, it's not programmed, there's no funding for it yet, but that's the only metro area highway system thing that could impact or be a part of North St. Paul. And so we just have to identify that yes, we're aware of that, and we will, we just identify it on our maps. And all our, say Highway 36, for example, we have to identify that as a state highway. It's a major corridor. Well, okay, that hasn't changed. So it's a lot of this is just what we have to do. It's not high-level planning for anything. Regional freight planning and regional bicycle planning. Well, again, the Gateway Trail is our regional bicycle corridor. I don't think we have any other regional bicycle routes or trails. Freight planning would be, again, the highway. There's nothing or Highway 36, I should say. Again, nothing changing there. They want us to look at travel demand management, and again, greenhouse gas emissions. Yeah. So, yeah, for travel demand management. The Met Council encourages local governments to address travel demand management needs in your areas that experience traffic congestion. So, again, that'd be working with the county, MnDOT, nothing that we can really do about any of that I can think of. They touch on regional parks, and they make clear that there are no regional parks. Well, here's our arterial map. The only regional park facility similar to that is the Gateway Trail. That's the only state-owned facility. Even the county parks that are nearby are not large enough to be regional parks. So, as they say, there are no regional parks or trail system components within North St. Paul as identified in the 2050 Regional Parks Plan. North St. Paul must state this fact in its comprehensive plan. Okay, we will. Easy. That's an easy condition to meet. So that is what the system statement is, and I don't recommend that we challenge it or fight it or question it, but I use that as an introduction to some of the elements that we'll be looking at as we progress the next 2.5 years on the comprehensive plan update. Again, the update is required to be done by September of 2028, so a little less than 3 years. So we have time. Don't want to leave it to the last 6 months because there's a lot involved, but nonetheless, that's where we're at. Any questions on the system statement? It's what we get from the Met Council and we get to work with.
When does this need to be updated by?
The system statement or the comp plan?
Comp plan.
By September 2028.
Oh, okay.
Again, the system statement is put out, so again, if there was a growing city, they disagreed on the population growth and the number of households that's going to happen, then the two agencies can talk and arm wrestle and figure out a number that they both can live with. I don't see an issue with the North St. Paul, so I'm not recommending that we flag it or have any problems with it, unless the commission sees something.
Well, and you said if, like, let's say hypothetically, a year from now, there's some larger housing development that occurs because some developer has, put pieces of property together. They would still be able to take that into account based on census data, and so we're not cutting anything off here if we say.
Excuse me, no.
Okay.
No, not at all. They would love it, frankly. So the second element I included in the packet, that's the end of that, was Chapter 2 of the current comprehensive plan. So this is out of the 2040 comprehensive plan. And I thought, for a little brain work or discussion, this has the vision, goals, and decisions that set up the writing and adoption of the comprehensive plan that we now have in effect. In that, see if I can find it here. They went through a lot of work and came up with a vision, and it's on the screen. It's also on the last page of the page 235 in the report. After the initial processes, they came up with North St. Paul is your favorite small town. We promote community stewardship through an involved and informed citizenry. We preserve neighborhood value with diverse and maintained housing and active neighbors. The city engages in creative placemaking that fosters an environment of economic and employment opportunity. North St. Paul builds systems that connect people to places and promote active lifestyles. That was the overall vision for the city for the 2040 plan. There are several then goals in the plan that are in, again, this Chapter 2. There's the vision. And I included a few of those in the report. There's goals and questions and how they would be measured. We can talk through these if you have any questions, comments. There's goals regarding business and economic development, downtown, transportation, urban design, parks and trails, resilience. At this point, from what I know of the city in my 6 or so months, I think initially, my initial look at them, they all seem relevant and important. But this is now, what, 8, 9 years old? Things certainly have changed, especially downtown, for the good. There's been redevelopment down there. We don't necessarily need to go through all of these tonight, but I think this would be, looking at these and understanding these and ultimately deciding, are they still relevant and important for the city, will be a good way to start formulating what the rest of the comprehensive plan is going to look like as we do the update. So with that, we can talk about it. You want to have questions, digest it? I'm open for however the commission would like to proceed at this point.
Thanks, Ken. I mean, this is a lot to,
There's a lot of words there.
yep. So I think, first, does anybody have any topics they want to bring up? I know it's a lot here, but initial reactions.
And we're going over this to do, what's the goal of us going over this?
To,
Are we changing it? Are
no,
we-
not yet,
we good?
not yet, but it's starting to think about, I think most importantly, are these goals still relevant to the city now? And if they are, great, keep going down that path. If there are some that need to be changed, then as we do the comprehensive plan update, we'll look at those proposed changes, excuse me, and then figure out what they should say if they're not current,
So we're
or,
looking for possible feedback as this gets updated for the next one.
yes.
Gotcha.
And I thought, well, what's in a comprehensive plan? What should it say? These are a good starting point to think about. Ultimately, if you had your way, how would the city be developed in 2040 and 2050? What it would look like? What kind of elements? What's important? And each city gets to decide that within
Yep.
with some flexibility.
I think, I mean, to me, this is important enough that if everybody agrees, I feel like maybe this could be another thing where we could bring up next meeting just to,
Well, I'd like,
instead of going, oh, we don't have to do the whole presentation, we can just come with comments to talk about, because it is important.
I'm wondering if maybe we should put it off for the January meeting, because this is a lot of material, and we've got a lot to look at for the next meeting, so
True.
should
yeah.
we maybe kick this 2 months down the road and do it in January?
And we certainly have time.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you could read it, bedtime reading to hopefully not put you to sleep when.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I agree. Is everyone else comfortable with that?
I'm game.
And, yeah, Jim's happy.
Be a lot to do.
Just- But in the meantime, if there's something that jumps out at you or is missing or you need more information, either for the next meeting or the January meeting, let me know so I can pull it together for you. I don't know if were any of you on the commission when the last plan was adopted?
I don't think any of us were.
Oh, okay, well, we're getting comprehensive plan 101.
Patrick might have been.
Patrick might have been, but yeah.
Maybe? No, I think he's only a year or two ahead of me, so I don't know if that,
Really? Because I think hasn't he been around for about 8 years?
maybe?
It-
Maybe.
It feels like, yes.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Maybe it just seems like it.
Tell you what, I don't want to assume. Yes. So I'll just put it out there as we'll have to ask him when he returns from Illinois for our next one.
Yes. But yeah, I think that'll be good just to give us a little bit of time to look at it and just have good, more pointed comments about it.
Okay.
That does, however, beg the question of when will our January meeting be? Because the first Thursday in January is the 1st.
Oh. Well, so that would be pushed.
Probably to the 8th, but
Typically it'd be pushed
I
a
don't
week, yeah.
know. You're planning ahead.
That's why I'm called a planner.
I should have been on that.
So there's no specific, we don't have to, there's no motion here, right?
No,
Okay.
no, well, you should, if you don't want to take any action, just for the record, somebody to make a motion to table for a future meeting.
Okay. Yeah, so do I have a motion to table for a potential?
Well, I tabled the last one, so,
I'll make the motion to table this
Okay.
discussion.
and I'll second that.
Commissioner Gadboy is first, and Commissioner Muick is second to table
I
this
don't want to be the
until
perpetual table, you know?
And to be clear, that's to the January meeting.
to January, correct, yes.
Don't we have to vote?
Sorry, yes? Oh, my goodness.
Another chance to use the gavel.
Wait near the gavel.
Everybody in favor of tabling this to January, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. No nays, so we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner
Just having
Rathie.
too much fun.
All right, so I think we're through our topics, and we are on to reports from commissioners and council liaison. Jason, you want to go first, and do you have any reports from council?
No, just as always, thank you very much for the great work that you guys do.
Thank you. All right. Stephanie? Nothing. No reports? Cameron?
Nothing on me.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Well, since I am wrapping up the end of my tenure, the question is whether I'm going to stick around, and I've thought about planning against it. Obviously, now with all this kind of changes my mind, but, so as of right now, that has been my game plan, is just to roll off planning. Probably after December is kind of the game plan. Doesn't mean I couldn't be construed, but that's kind of the game plan. So, but with that being stated, it's been 4 years of fun, and I've enjoyed all the conversations that we've had and all the interactions that we've had, and I continue to see a lot of good stuff happening. So that's the only comment that I have to
Oh,
make,
okay.
for a report. How's
I didn't realize your time was up this year.
I did not either until recently. So
Okay. Well, but we still have time to convince you otherwise, right?
I will accept that.
Okay. Commissioner Alvarez?
I have nothing.
All right.
Oh, yeah, Elizabeth says she didn't have anything, that's right. So, based on Jim's report, if we will be advertising for one or two new commissioners, we haven't heard from Patrick yet what he wants to do. He was, when I last talked to him, considering also ending his term.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, if you know people that might be interested in the commission, either have them contact Chris or myself, or look for a posting. I'm sure there'll be something on the website or in the newsletter about how to submit an application. And we're always looking for good people.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, I guess that's it. So at 7:34, we are adjourned.
You want a motion to adjourn?
Oh,
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Well, do we need to make a motion about the January meeting at this point?
No, because I don't know when the date will be set.
I think it's just
We
automatic.
can figure that out. We'll let you know at the December meeting.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Liz,
Thank
Who
you.
made the motion? I'm sorry.
I did.
First,
Seconded by Mr. Alvarez.
thank you.
Did we vote?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, nay.
I'm saying nay, just for the hell of it.
Thank you.
Thank you for sticking with this handicapped chairman
You
here.
did a good job.
You did a good job.